Welcome back.
And we're recording on time.
I know.
It's a miracle.
We're even recording a day early.
I mean, technically this is on time. In the old days. You know, those old days?
Ye olden days.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we've been recording on Tuesdays and scrambling to publish by Wednesday at midnight. But today we're recording on Monday.
Yeah.
So.
We feel like brand new women.
I know.
I don't even know who we are right now.
We have our lives so together.
We're really getting there.
Yes. Anything new?
You know, I feel like there was something I was going to, type into my notes.
Yeah.
Because I usually, if there's something that I need to remember, I'll type it at the beginning of my story. But I don't have a story.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. And so I didn't type it yet. And so now I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But, I do remember one thing. So I was checking out our YouTube page.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody who actually went to Kenyon College listened to our episode.
Yeah.
And as they were listening, they were leaving comments. And so one of the things that they said, and it was something that I read, but I didn't realize it was as big of a deal, I guess, as it is. Mm-hmm. Remember when I told you that after the fire, they rebuilt the building to look exactly like it was?
Yeah.
They didn't just rebuild it. They even took the bricks out and numbered them so that they could put them back in the exact same place that they had been before. But one thing that was important and was just remiss on my behalf, when they rebuilt that building, the floor levels were
when you were telling the story, I remembered that we had listened to another podcast about it before, and they were half of a person.
Yeah, you would see the legs, or you would see the top half, but you wouldn't see both because the floor levels were different.
Yeah, so they were still walking on the previous floors, but the new floors were in a different place.
Yeah, and there were a couple of other ghosts that I didn't hit in my research. One was an insomniac who walks the halls or something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can find those comments because let's see. The insomniac, apparently there are rumors, so I guess in the Church of the Holy Spirit, which I'm assuming is a church on campus, that there are black stains underneath the stained glass in the church.
Okay. And
the rumors are that unholy fire burning downward toward hell is what caused those stains.
Oh, just normal stuff. Just
casual. And also there's a archway or something, and people say that it, on campus, out in the yard, the yard, the grounds, it is considered to be the gates of hell.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't get to those things, and so,
Fun college.
But I thought it was cool that, they messaged us and gave us some more insider intel.
Yes.
Well, I cannot think of anything else except that, a ghost threw tortillas at us at Walmart earlier.
Yeah, we were on the tortilla aisle, and all of a sudden, 5 packages of tortillas just came flying off the shelf.
The top shelf, just, it was absolutely a ghost.
Yeah.
It wasn't that they're slippery packaging that were piled precariously.
No.
It was absolutely a ghost.
Absolutely.
And it's thundering and lightning.
Is it?
Yeah. It thundered just now is what reminded me. But I went outside.
How come I can't hear thunder lately?
I don't know. But I went out to, when I went out to feed the cats, I noticed it was thundering and lightning. And so I was going to go turn off the sprinkler. But then a big boom happened right by me. And I went, never mind. I'm good. And I went back inside.
The last 2 or 3 times that it has stormed, I have not been able to hear the thunder.
Yeah. Well, it's thundering now.
Yeah. All right.
So anyway, Well, I don't have a story, so I guess that's it. See you next week, guys.
Yeah, see you. I have nothing new going on in my life as usual. My jaw still hurts, and yeah, that's really it.
Yeah.
But I do have a story.
Oh, okay. So we don't need to stop recording now.
No, I'm gonna tell y'all a story.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So this is the story of Michelle Lodzinski. Have
Okay.
you heard of Michelle Lodzinski?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, Michelle Lodzinski was born and raised in New Jersey along with her older brother and sister and a younger brother.
Okay.
When she was 16, she met and began a relationship with George Wiltsey. A year later, or possibly 3 years later, I don't know. I've heard it both ways.
Me too.
On August 6, 1985, the couple welcomed a baby, Timothy Wiltsey, who they affectionately called Timmy. The couple moved to Iowa, I think. Everything was kind of conflicting about, like, her background.
Uh-huh.
And so, I know they eventually ended up in Iowa, but I heard a few different things.
Okay.
But they eventually ended up in Iowa, because I think that's where George is from.
Okay.
And the relationship did not last very long after that. And Michelle and Timmy moved to South Amboy, New Jersey to live with Michelle's older sister. Being a young single mother and high school dropout, Michelle took on several jobs to support herself and Timmy and was eventually able to secure an apartment for the two of them. Michelle relied heavily on family for childcare while struggling to juggle her jobs, social life, and being a single mother. She was frequently late to work and would often take Timmy with her. When Timmy was old enough to start school, he was absent and tardy in excess. I think I heard that his first year of school, he had like 63 tardies and 25 absences.
Yowza.
Yeah. Despite all of her struggles, Michelle was described as a loving, devoted mother who was able to save up enough money to send Timmy to a private Catholic school and would take him on vacations and little outings when she could. However, it was on one such outing that things took a turn for the worse.
Oh.
May 25th, 1991, Michelle, now 23, had planned to take Timmy to the local carnival that was going on in the nearby town of Sayreville. Either the day before or earlier that day, I've also heard it both ways, Michelle had taken her son to buy new clothes to go with his kindergarten graduation gown. On the evening of the 25th, around 7 p.m., she arrived at the carnival. Somewhere around 7:15 or 7:30, she ran into her 13-year-old niece, Jennifer Blair, and a friend. She began to frantically tell them that she had lost sight of Timmy when she went to a concession stand to buy a drink.
Like the biggest fear.
Yeah.
Ugh.
She said that she, left him by a trailer and was, keeping an eye on him. Mm-hmm. But then she turned around to pay, and then he was just gone. Mm. They quickly reported Timmy missing to a police officer who was on duty at the carnival. They searched for about 20 minutes, and then the officer called for backup to begin looking for him. Police, firefighters, sniffer dogs, and several volunteers searched the area. The carnival was shut down, and the search continued until 2 a.m. when it was called off for the night.
Never call it off. Never, never, never.
I guess it was just too dark.
I know.
So the next morning, around 5:30 a.m., so just a few hours later, the search picked up again, and now that the sun was back on their side. More than 300 people searched the park and the surrounding neighborhoods for Timmy. The state police flew over the 10-acre area, and dive teams were called in to search for the boy. The efforts were called off at noon, with Police Sergeant Timothy Brennan stating that they were satisfied that the boy was not there and there was nothing further they could get from there at that time. Police searched Michelle's car for a second time, having done so the previous day, and found nothing of consequence. The same was true of her home, which was also searched. The following day, on May 27th, volunteers handed out 4,000 flyers about the missing boy. Police checked out dozens of phone calls about small boys seen walking alone or accompanied by men, but none of these leads panned out. Police also eliminated George Wiltsey, Timmy's father, as a suspect after determining that he was at home in Iowa at the time Timmy disappeared. Police conducted interviews with carnival workers and other witnesses. A few of them said that they were confident they saw a boy matching Timmy's description. Another witness, however, stated that she had seen and even had a conversation with Michelle prior to the disappearance, and that Timmy was not with her.
Oh.
They interviewed ex-boyfriends and tapped Michelle's phone, but nothing helpful came of this.
Yeah.
Over the next month or so, the word of Timmy's disappearance had spread all over the country. His face appearing on milk cartons, because this was back when they still did that.
Did you say over the next month?
No, over the next month. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's too many days.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is like June now.
Mm-hmm.
But over the next month, he was featured on America's Most Wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, his face was on milk cartons. So people all over the country were aware.
Well, yeah, this is
case.
like America's Most Wanted heyday because of what's-his-face's son getting kidnapped.
Mm-hmm. Police were perplexed and could not figure out how he could have disappeared from such a crowded place without being seen. They began to question inconsistencies in Michelle's story, especially with no one being able to definitely corroborate her account that Timmy was with her at the carnival.
Mm-hmm.
On June 4th, Michelle was interviewed by police, where she stated her original story that she lost sight of Timmy when she had left him by a trailer as she went to the concession stand to buy a drink. She recounted the day's activities prior to the carnival, saying that they played kickball and then visited a petting zoo at Homedale Park. But when the staff at Homedale Park was questioned, they told the police that the parking lot Michelle claimed to have parked in was closed that day.
Mm. And that was the day before?
It was either the day before or the same day.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I've heard it both ways.
But, like, right before.
But, yeah.
Okay.
It was supposedly the day of, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did before they went to the carnival.
That would have been a very full day.
Yes. On June 6th, just 2 days later, Michelle was interviewed again. This time her story had changed.
Oh, boy.
Although she began by stating that she didn't know what happened to Timmy, she then changed her story to say that she saw an older man escort Timmy off a ride and then lead him towards a younger man. When she tried to approach them, she was told to leave them alone or they would hurt Timmy. When pressed by police, Michelle said, "You wanted to hear something, so I told you." Later that day, she told the police that she made up the story about the two men.
I was going to say, because if I saw somebody kidnapping my child, I would be screaming bloody murder that somebody was kidnapping my child. Exactly. I wouldn't be like, oh, I just left him by a trailer, and then he just wasn't there anymore.
Yeah. So, turning their efforts towards Michelle, she was called in again the following day for another interview. This time her story had changed again.
Oh, fun.
She claimed that she was approached by a woman she knew, a go-go dancer by the name of Ellen, who she had met when she would come in to cash her welfare checks at a bank Michelle had previously worked in. Ellen was accompanied by two men and a young girl about 2 or 3, presumably Ellen's daughter. Ellen offered to watch Timmy while Michelle went to buy a drink at the concession stand. Michelle asked her if she really wanted to do that, and Ellen insisted. When Michelle returned, the group was gone. She claimed that she didn't tell police this story originally because she was concerned for her son's safety and didn't want to be criticized for leaving her son with a stranger.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't, first of all, a total stranger.
Yeah.
She was acquainted with her.
Mm-hmm.
And second, like, I don't know. I just don't
Second, if it was true, you would want to tell the
tell
cops
somebody,
because you want your kid back.
Right? Like, you wouldn't just be like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just left him there and then he was gone.
Yeah.
And then make up this other story about these random dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And then make up yet another story. When you're making up so many stories, we all know you're lying.
Yes. As suspicion towards Michelle grew, police brought her in a week later to be further interviewed. She stuck to her story about the woman, Ellen, and the two men, but additionally confided in the police that as she went to purchase her drink, one of the men came up and put his arm around her shoulders. He threatened her with a knife, saying, "Your son has a pretty face. You wouldn't want to do anything to mess that up." Police told her...
Okay, yeah. She took that right out of a movie.
Yeah. So police told her that her story made no sense.
Yeah.
If the group already had Timmy, why would they approach her to threaten her instead of just leaving with him?
Right.
Additionally, why had she not yelled out for help? To which she replied that she wanted to, but feared the other man had a knife on Timmy.
Okay.
So the police came up with a plot to catch Michelle in her lies. One detective told her he believed her. He said they had been tracking a kidnapping ring out of Berkeley with the same MO. He said the kidnappers told the parents that they would return the child to a specific location, but they would not get them back if they involved the police. He told Michelle he knew that she had been told the same thing, and that that's why she'd been lying to them.
Oh, okay.
Michelle took the bait and told detectives that they told her that she would get Timmy back within a month, as long as she kept her mouth shut.
What? Oh, because it's ransom. I was going to say, what would be even the point of doing that?
They never mention ransom throughout this whole thing, though.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, why would you steal somebody's kid
and then just give them back?
Be like, oh, I'll give them back in a month.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to take care of a child.
No.
On, just for funsies for a month.
So, I don't know if ransom was involved, but they never mentioned ransom.
Yeah.
So they told her that they needed to know the location that the kidnappers told her they would return Timmy. She said it was in the woods in an abandoned building near a tree. When pressed further, however, Michelle would not give them any more information. Yeah.
Because she really wants her son back.
Yeah.
She really wants to make sure that the bad guys get, served their justice for stealing her baby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Another detective told her that he knew that she was lying. She ended the interview telling them to charge her or she was leaving.
I'll charge you.
After a few more interviews, usually ending in Michelle storming out, she finally refused to participate in any further interrogations.
And that too. Like, okay, let me just stop cooperating with the people who are trying to get my child back.
Yeah. So now it's October. So, on October 26, police finally received a tip that would turn out to be invaluable. A teacher out for a nature walk stumbled upon a child's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sneaker in a marshy wilderness area behind Raritan Center Industrial Complex in Edison, just across the river from Sayreville. This shoe matched the description of the ones Michelle said her son was wearing the evening he disappeared.
Okay, you can stop telling it now. We're good.
This was 1991, though, and people weren't just walking around with phones in their pockets, so the teacher brought the shoe back to Sayreville police.
Mm-hmm.
Police showed the shoe to Michelle, who said the shoe did not look like Timmy's.
Oh, okay.
After waiting weeks to hear back from police as to whether or not the shoe belonged to the missing boy, the teacher took his story to a local newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
The shoe became front-page news, rekindling interest in the case from the FBI. This also prompted Michelle to call the police and tell them the shoe might possibly belong to her son.
Oh, maybe.
It was compared to the shoebox Michelle had provided and matched the shoes it had contained. The shoe was consequently identified as belonging to Timmy. Police conducted a search of that area that the shoe was found, but they were unable to uncover any further evidence. Throughout this whole ordeal, Michelle had been criticized for showing little to no emotion regarding the disappearance of her son, stating that everyone is waiting to see a grieving mother on TV break down, crying, hysterical, because the public, they thrive on that stuff, but I'm not going to do it.
I understand that everybody grieves in their own way and everybody deals with crises in their own way and everything, but I cannot imagine not showing some sign of, like, freaking out that my kid was missing.
Yeah. So during a press conference on November 25th, once again under scrutiny for her lack of emotion, Michelle was quoted as saying, "I don't show emotion in the public, and I don't think I should have to because someone wants me to."
Okay.
So now it's April 1992.
Oh, boy.
The FBI decided to review everything they had already investigated up to this point in case they missed something. They decided to once again search the marshy area where Timmy's shoe had been discovered a few months prior. Quickly, investigators came across the second shoe just 30 yards from where the first shoe had been found months earlier.
Oh, they looked really hard.
Yeah, the police did a great job. Yeah, my next thing says, which begs the question, why didn't the cops find this shoe when they did their original search?
Right. Okay.
So upon further inspection, they soon came across the skull of a child, along with 11 other bones.
I told you could stop.
Yeah. The remains were so badly decomposed that they had to identify his body using dental records.
Oh, yeah, he's been out there for a freaking
year. 11 months. Additionally, there were no signs as to his cause or manner of death, and no clues leading to his killer. In that same area, police found a Ninja Turtle balloon, a trash bag, a shovel with an orange handle, a pillowcase, and a blue blanket.
it just gets worse.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what you said that sparked something in me.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
What did it spark?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I was going to say something, and then you kept going, and then I can't remember what it was, but...
Interrupt better next time.
I know. I'm just cringing in my whole body. What did they find? I don't really want to know, but tell me again.
His skull and 11 other bones. Mm-hmm. A Ninja Turtle balloon, a trash bag, a shovel with an orange handle, a pillowcase, and a blue blanket.
Mm. Okay, that wasn't it. But anyway, go ahead.
So, police brought Michelle in on the 23rd of April to notify her that her son was deceased, to which she had no reaction.
Okay.
On May 12th, 1992, Michelle and her family held a funeral mass for Timmy after his remains had been released to his mother. Police interviewed several people, including Timmy's father and Michelle's ex-boyfriends, but none were ever considered suspects. They tried to locate the mysterious Ellen, resorting to interviewing every woman named Ellen or similar who received assistance from welfare, but found no such person. At this time, their prime suspect in the case was Michelle.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. When they said they didn't find any other clues, or like, whatever, I was going to be like, there's lots of clues to her killer. To his killer.
Well, so far they can't prove that she did anything to him.
I can prove it right now. She did it.
So, besides her lack of emotion and her ever-changing story, she also failed 2 polygraph tests, which she lied to her friends and family saying she passed. During the test, she frequently asked, "How am I doing?"
Oh, okay.
She also failed to mention that the marshy area where Timmy was found was directly behind the complex where she had previously worked. Mm-hmm. I also heard on one podcast that during the time her son was missing, she went on a girls' trip to the Bahamas.
Oh, fun!
Where she was recognized by 2 off-duty state troopers who were also vacationing there.
You know what? She just needed that vacation from all the pressure in her life.
She needed to decompress.
Yeah.
So to add to the list of wacky and suspicious things that Michelle did, I heard on that same podcast that before his remains were found, locals had put together a fund called Friends of Timmy, trying to raise money to help find him. Mm-hmm. They held the first fundraiser at Timmy's Catholic school, and Michelle insisted that it be a Chippendales dancer event.
Oh, fun. That's so fun for her.
Yeah. People raised several eyebrows at this, but they held it anyway. People thought it was pretty inappropriate to hold this at a Catholic school.
Well, I was about to say.
As well as a fundraiser for a missing child.
Mm-hmm.
Despite this, Michelle insisted the next fundraiser also be a Chippendales dancer event.
Oh my goodness.
This time she got a big fat nope.
Well, yeah, good.
And she quit the board.
Because it's like one thing if you're like, look, I know that this will bring us a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But 1, at a Catholic school, and 2, like maybe not 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
And also remember that your small child
your 5-year-old
who was about to graduate from kindergarten is missing.
Yeah. So like I said, she quit the board for the little foundation thingy.
Okay, temper tantrum.
Then she had an attorney send a letter to the organization stating that they could no longer use Timmy's pictures in their efforts to find him.
Oh. Like people are trying to find your child.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, no. You wouldn't let me have the fun thing I wanted to do.
Yeah. So despite being their prime suspect, there was no physical evidence to tie her to Timmy's death, and the case went cold. Ugh. But that's not the last we hear of Michelle.
Well, I was afraid it wouldn't be.
2 years later, January 21st, 1994, Michelle was kidnapped.
Oh, Michelle was kidnapped?
Yeah.
Oh.
For a while prior to her abduction, she had told her friends and family that someone was stalking her.
Of course they were.
She was reported missing after her car was found outside her brother's home with the door open and the engine running, and her personal belongings still in the car. The car was searched, and police turned up nothing except a business card belonging to an FBI agent. Oh. On the back was a note that read, "See you soon. It's not over."
Oh, okay. How ominous.
Yes.
And movie-like.
Yes. It didn't take long, however, before they found Michelle. The next day, they got a call from Michelle herself saying that she had been abducted by 2 FBI agents who held her at gunpoint and threw a blanket over her head and dropped her off in Detroit, Michigan, about 600 miles away.
I don't often hear about FBI agents kidnapping people.
Yeah. No one believed her story.
What?
There was no such FBI agent as the one on the business card.
But it was such a credible story.
I know. And it was later discovered that Michelle had the cards printed herself.
I don't believe that. She actually just has the worst luck ever.
Yeah. The phone call they received was traced to a payphone next to a Greyhound station where Michelle purchased a ticket to Detroit. She admitted to faking her kidnapping and pled guilty to the charges of making false statements to the FBI and fraudulent use of a government seal. She was sentenced to 6 months of house arrest and 3 years probation, as well as mandatory psychological counseling.
What's even the purpose of that unless she just really decided she liked the attention?
That's all I can figure, is that she needed some more attention.
She's like, oh man, everybody's forgotten about my son that I murdered.
Yeah. So in February of 1998, Michelle received a further 3 years probation, 4 months of house arrest, and is ordered to spend 24 hours in jail after stealing a laptop from her employer to give to her then-boyfriend as a gift.
Oh, that was so sweet.
Yes. Michelle later moved to Minnesota, married and had 2 sons before divorcing within a few years and moving to Florida to live with her sister.
Okay, so I hope this husband kept the children.
No.
Okay, cool.
No, she took her sons to Florida with her.
Did he not hear the first story?
Right.
Or had Al Gore not invented the internet yet?
It was 1998.
There's some internet.
The early 2000s at this point, I think.
Yeah.
During this time, detectives in New Jersey decided it might be time to look at Timmy's case with fresh eyes.
Oh, perhaps.
They soon came to realize that the items found near Timmy's body had never been shown to anyone close to Michelle. They chose to focus on the blanket, assuming it had come from Michelle's home and used to cover Timmy's body. No one seemed to remember or recognize the blanket, with the exception of Michelle's niece, Jennifer, the one from the carnival.
Oh, right.
Who used to frequently babysit for Michelle.
Oh, okay.
She stated that she used to use the blanket when she would cuddle up on the couch with Timmy. With this newly identified evidence, police made their move. On August 6, 2014, Timmy's 29th birthday, police arrested Michelle for the murder of her son.
Off of the blanket?
Yes.
Okay.
Her trial would not begin until March 16, 2016. The only evidence the prosecution had against Michelle was the blue blanket and her niece's statement that she recognized it. They were fortunately able to find 2 other babysitters of Timmy's who claimed they also recognized the blanket. Michelle's defense team, however, argued that they were just making these admissions out of spite or because they were influenced by the media exposure the case was receiving.
Oh, yeah. Often people do that.
Yeah. The prosecution called attention to Michelle's changing stories, lack of emotion, and failure to disclose that she had worked near near where Timmy's remains were found. They argued that Timmy had become a burden to Michelle, who had once stated to her brother's girlfriend that she was a weekend mother and not cut out for this.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to get up and take them to school on time and stuff.
Yeah. Prosecution also brought forth the woman who had spoken to Michelle the night of the carnival, who had said that Timmy was not with Michelle, nor did Michelle mention him to her. Michelle's defense team argued that she loved her son more than anything, and her actions before his disappearance were not those of someone planning to kill their child.
What, her made-up story about going to play kickball?
And, like, buying his graduation gown and new clothes and stuff like that.
Well, 1, do we know that she actually did those things? And 2, sometimes people do things to make it look like, you know, they did the story that they told you.
Mm-hmm.
Like going to the carnival.
Yeah. So they also produced a witness in the form of an ex-convict who claimed his cellmate had confessed to killing a young boy and whose story sounded very similar to what happened to Timmy. The cellmate was put on the stand and denied all accusations that he had ever made any such confession.
Cool, thanks.
The jury found Michelle guilty of first-degree murder, and she was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Michelle's defense team appealed her case, claiming that there was not enough evidence to convict her. Their appeals were originally denied until they were set to be heard by the New Jersey Supreme Court. One of the 7 judges recused himself, having worked in the office of the New Jersey U.S. Attorney during the period of time when Timmy went missing. The remaining 6 judges' decision, however, ended in a tie. So a 7th judge was brought in as a tiebreaker. This judge ruled in Michelle's favor. They had serious doubts about the blanket and the credibility of the witnesses. They also stated that in order to convict someone of murder, they would have to prove that the defendant knowingly and purposely committed the murder, which they could not do.
Right.
On December 28th, 2021, her conviction was thrown out, having only spent 5 years in prison. Double jeopardy prohibits Michelle from ever being tried for Timmy's murder again, and the rest of Timmy's remains have never been found.
I wonder if she's best friends with Casey Anthony.
I don't know. She supposedly has kind of like gone into hiding since this.
Unlike Casey Anthony, who's just out in everybody's business.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the wacky story of Michelle Lodzinski.
Well, wacky is one word for it.
Yeah.
Infuriating is another word for it.
I just couldn't believe it when I heard the story because it was like, it was bad enough that she supposedly killed her son.
Right.
But then she faked her own kidnapping. And
right. And
all the stories she made up about her son being missing.
And like all of these things that they found, like the shovel and stuff, they didn't like try to get fingerprints off of them. I know they had been out there for a while, but just like, just to see.
Yeah, I don't know. It was the 80s and...
But, well, I was going to say by then it was the 90s, wasn't it? But maybe not.
No, it was... Oh, well, it was 1992.
No.
So.
But still, by then, even in the 60s and 50s and before that, you dusted for fingerprints. Mm-hmm. Like, they could have at least tried.
So I don't know if they did and they couldn't prove anything. Because they said that they had found, like, hairs on the blanket, but that none of them matched Michelle.
Yeah. But, like, did they ask about the other things other than the blanket? Were they like, hey, have you ever seen the shovel before? Have you ever... I'm focusing on the shovel because I assume that she used it to, like, either knock him on the head or bury him or
his
something.
skull didn't have any evidence of any sort of trauma. So they don't know how he died.
Yeah. That's just a very, very sad story.
Yes.
Like, just the idea of your child being kidnapped and, like, the panic that it just must instill in just a normal person. Mm-hmm. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
And I will never understand how people hurt little kids.
No. It always baffles me. Especially when it's your own little kid. I'm not saying it's okay to hurt somebody else's little kid, but it always blows my mind people that hurt their own children.
Yeah. I'm like, if you don't want your own child, there's other people who would want them.
Mm-hmm. And I hear so many stories about little kids whose parents killed them that had family members who would happily take the child, that this didn't need to happen.
Yep.
And she could have given Timmy to his dad.
Right.
She, according to the stuff that I read and listened to, he never saw Timmy after he was a baby because Michelle wouldn't let him.
Oh. Well, and then that's just one of those, like, we've talked about, which is somebody who needs power, who needs to have control over everything.
Yeah.
But apparently she wasn't all that good at being in control of anything.
No. But yeah, so, you know, his father might have taken him in.
Yeah. Or grandparents, or aunts and uncles, or anybody.
Yeah, I heard that her younger brother, like, by the end of everything, believed that she killed her son. And thought it was, like, a terrible injustice that her conviction was overturned.
Yeah.
And the jury was really upset, said that the judges, you know, weren't doing their job by throwing out their verdict.
I mean, like, from a law standpoint, I guess I understand what they're saying because they didn't really prove that she murdered him.
Yeah, the prosecution didn't really have any evidence.
But it's still just... it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how people are like that. I don't know how... I don't know. It just sucks.
Yeah, it does. And it's pitiful. He was like a year older than me.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he would be like my age now.
Yeah.
He'd be like 40.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for bumming us out.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, if you'd like to be bummed out further, remember that you can find us on social media at Twisted and Mysterious, or you can email us at twistedandmysteriousPodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you and hear your own crazy stories or
story suggestions.
There's the other word I was looking for. Yeah.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, I'm starting to get spicy again.
Yeah, we turned off the air conditioner because it was loud, but it's getting warm in here.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, as always, remember that people are gross and don't get murdered.
Yeah. All right. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.